Hello everyone, welcome to 2025 Revolver John Airsoft online exhibition. I'm John. Today I'm going to present you my learning curve on airsoft product designing. The sample I show you today are all 3D printed. Let's start with this Arctic BNT USW G17. What I made here are 3D printed muzzle brake, fixed outer barrel, and a foregrip. This foregrip also serves as a quick draw holster anchor, and it is also a neck pouch. So you can hold the gun like this. A pretty cool mini PCC. I'm going to retract the stock. And in the holster, it looks like this. You can see similar holster products in the market, but I decided to make one of my own. Yeah, you can see this is how it looks like. Yeah. The upper triangle is to compensate the plate of QLS system. So I kind of like a compromise to the design of the QLS system. And this is how it looks when attached to the plate, build plate. It looks like this. Very gorgeous, right? Okay, so this is our first sample. Let me put this away. The second one, SAA Racer. I believe many of you have already seen me using this SAA Racer in a lot of shorts when I'm doing triple shot, fanning, or everything about SAA, except when I'm not using the cowboy holster, I'm using this SAA Racer. This SAA Racer composed of three components: a stopper, an arm, and a holster itself. It also works with KOS. It looks like this when you wear it. Push the button, draw the gun. So if you want to put it back, you have to kind of like slide it in. And when the front hit the stopper, you know it's there. Currently, the retention device, I borrowed the mag release from APC9. I borrowed from one of my APC9 to make it. It might change in the future into something else, maybe a spring-loaded device, or maybe a switch like a typical IPSC quick draw holster. Yeah, so this is the SAA Racer. Then we're going to talk about moon click pouches. I believe some of people, they already asked me about the moon click pouches. It is still under experiment. I already use them in IDPA matches. This one is the very original design. I believe it was first printed in maybe late 2024. I used to made a one-piece moon click pouch, so it will be stronger, not too easy to snap or destroyed when you you go prone, or you have to go squat, not crouch, squat, and sometimes your leg will push the pouches against your belt. Yeah, I don't want it to break, so I kind of make it a one piece, so it's much more stronger. And this one is for Webley MK6. So this is the wing gun Webley MK6 shell. I made a plastic version of it with moon click plate, because for typical moon clip you have to kind of cut away the cylinder. I don't want to do that. I only got 2 guns of MK6. I don't want to do that. So I I designed a moon clip for it. Very useful. So I also consider this moon clip a expandable. So every time I break, I just throw it away. Right. So moon clip. This is the later design this year in 2025. It has two parts. This is the pouch part and the build plate part. Build plate, right? So this build plate design was tested when in one piece era. It's very strong, durable, and it will hold any pressure. And this is still under developing. It did snap when you push from here. It's kind of like a power. If you push it like this, sometimes it will snap, it will break. So I'm going to kind of like redesign it to make sure it won't happen again. I don't want to go back to a one-piece design because I can like adjust the angle I want for faster draw. Okay, so my moonclick pouches has some identical part. You can see that is my design. Is the triangle lobe here, a triangle slope, I should say, triangle slope. The triangle slope helps the moonclick to sit back to the same position in the pouch. So whenever I drop it, it will sit back. It will sit back. Right, I have to show you, so sometimes it fails. It's like this. If I draw it like this, inside, it will turn like this. If I draw like this, of course, it will be just like this. But if I draw it like whatever style, you know, we have to put our moon clips on the table. For some reason, it matches. You just grab it, drop it, and it's in place. You don't have to worry about, you know, where to put it. Before, you know, I'm like struggling. You just won't get in. So now take it, drop it, go for the game, right? So it's like very easy. Okay. And for this one, it's also the same. I have a small triangle slope here to help the moonclick to kind of like back into a fixed position. So every time you drop it, back into the same positions. It will be good for a shooter to kind of like create a habit, because you have everything like fixed. So now you can improve your efficiency. Moonclick pouch. We'll put our revolver to later. We'll talk about APC9 first. So this is APC9K with a holster here. You can see it. This holster design is similar with the Kiowa S system, the quick draw here. Yeah, so there are similar design. This one came out earlier in like early 2024. There was a need in the factory. I want to store my test gun, so I created this. So I'll tie it to a shelf, to a cart, somewhere. I'll tie it, and then I'll put my test gun into it when I kind of not needed it, but maybe I'll need it anytime. So I put it here, like hanging around, or maybe 1 to 3 days a week. It didn't break. This is exactly the same one, so it didn't break. So it came very handy, but I believe there's still some modification I can do with this design. So this is still the prototype. We are not yet to moving on with it, because 3D printing has its strength issue when facing a very heavy product like this. This is about like 1.7, 1.6, 1.7 kilogram, I believe. So it's very heavy. It won't hold if I designed the holster like this. Very stylish, but yeah, it won't hold. So I like this, very robust, but yeah, sometimes not that good looking. We also want to make it like slim, good looking holster, you know, people will like to buy it. Okay, so another features I've done with this APC9 is you can see the front laser, the extension laser reel. I made a reel for the all light green laser because originally I put the laser here. Now the places of the iron sight, it is like too high to operate. I don't like how it looks, so I like the gun look the way it is now. So I try to like lower that laser to lower a little bit to make it much more good looking gun. So I can operate the laser here. Yeah, I can operate the laser here. I can operate the flashlight here. Okay, so this is what we have done with it. And you also can see a hand guard here to prevent me sticking my finger to the muzzle. So yeah, I like this design here, you know, much more handy to my own habit, to my personal need, fit my personal need. Maybe not others, but you know, we like options, right? So you can try to put your laser anywhere you like, right? That's the advantage of 3D printing. And this month, this extension rail is made for APC9 specifically. And this is an Archric BNT license, APC9K. So yeah, very handsome gun, you can see, right? I like it. So next one, move on to the next one. Hang on, I put a gun. Okay, right. Okay, so next one we have the big gun, LE. So we move on to APC9 LE. This is a very heavy gun. It's like 4 kilograms now, 4.1, 4.2, I forgot. I remember last time I weighed it with a magazine, it's like 4.5, with BBs, with gas, like 4.5, everything on. So original gun is like around 2 kilograms, but CNC lower, CNC upper, of course. Original LE ends here. And I made a 3D printed extension device here. So this extension device can host our BNT, SD2, SD square, and SDC, SD compacts, 4 handguard. So this is a SD2 handguard. I also borrow from my own SD2. I put it up here. So if you have SDC, you can put your handguards here too. So it will be longer. And I also have a BNT silencer here. With a BNT silencer this huge, sometimes it's hard for you to use some part of the hole here. So if you want to use the reel over here, you have to choose a smaller silencer. We also have another size of silencer. I choose the big one, the RBS9. So yeah, I like the way it looks. So I made this kind of adapter for the handguards. So for all APC9 series handguards, if you have it, you can put it on. So yeah, this is the LE. And for this LE, some say, why play with a heavy gun, right? But you know, I like big guns. And for this gun, I'm looking for a drum system. Maybe I'll make it by myself. A drum system, make it like an LMG. Much more fun. A lot of fun, right? So never tire of firepower. Last but not least, our Wing Gun 701. I'll put it this way. Our Wing Gun 701 in SW, Smith & Wesson 686 style, Performance Center style. what I have already done to this gun is the ABS one piece, I should say, outer barrel. So this part you see, they are in one piece. They are in one piece, and it's an outer barrel. And this part, this is a performance center style cylinder release. So before we have to put up our hand here to release the cylinder. Now you don't need to do that. You just like simply raise your thumb, push it, and the cylinder comes out. And for this gun, I also have a plastic, which side should I show? Okay, maybe here. Cylinder stop here. This cylinder stop is now durable. It will not snap, break anymore. It breaks a lot when I test it or in a match. So some of my friends, they already know. So know my cylinder stop snatch when they need it. But for this one, for this type, or I should say for this model, this version of the cylinder stop, it won't snap. It wear out because of, we always practice the cylinder operation, you know. So as a revolver shooter, we always need to practice the cylinder rotation, right? To familiar with that, so get a grip of it. So this design is now, the cylinder release here is now very friendly to not only right-hander, also left-hand shooter, right? If you're a left-hand shooter, it's very friendly to you too. You can like kind of shoot and release, you know, to the back. So, and for the right-hand shooter, again, put it in, you know, we'll do it again so that everybody can see how things works. So when you are a left-hand shooter, right? So you can like kind of like bam, 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 empty, out, and go back in, right? And for a right-hand shooter, again, put it back in. Okay, so this is the revolver part. And last but not least, our another last but not least, sorry. So I'm going to talk about the gun case here. But for the gun case, I'm not going to show you the interior. It was almost finished, but now we have some modifications for a more complicated interior. So this gun case can hold CO2 cartridges. I believe it's friendly for revolvers. You can just carry one case, walk to the safety area, draw the revolver, draw the CO2 cartridges out, and you can put your revolver in and take it out very easily. So it's currently still under some modifications, and maybe I believe it will be finished maybe earlier than any of these other things, right? So that's for what we currently have done with the designing. And we are going to talk about what will happen to Revolver John Airsoft in 2026, because we're still learning. I want to kind of like learn how to build a whole gun. So starting with this one. So some of my friends, they already know I made this 701, mostly plastic. And there are strength issues with this model. After I added a spring-loaded rod here, pin, I should say pin, spring-loaded pin here, to kind of like restrict the movements of the rod, extract rod, to kind of like restrict the movement every time, because every time you kind of like rotate the cylinder, there's a power, I should say, I should do this one. So there's a power to push against this part, and it will kind of like an upward effect to the whole plastic frame here. Even though I strengthen this part and I do some changes on try to use something to kind of like make sure it sticks to the surface here, but this power is very strong, so it will kind of like push the front barrel up a little bit. That's a downside, and what I'm going to compensate that is I'm going to make the whole L frame plastic. Maybe 70% this time. Maybe I'll keep the back plate here to make sure everything's still to have a plan B, not to kind of like postpone too much again for a long design period, because we have to do a lot of trial and error though. And so what I want to do in 2026 is like I'm going to build a whole plastic revolver. If not whole, maybe 70% plastic, you know, 70%, 80% plastic, maybe. The cylinder was, originally I designed the cylinder first, and in the progress of learning how to build a revolver, it reminds me when I was just a player, I asked my friends to ask Winggun, you know, more for some parts, because I believe it will be warm, it's warm out. But now as a designer, I seldom change like this part, and the release. This is a release. It is a release, like a release rod, but it seldom like break or wear out, because if you close the cylinder and open the cylinder in a correct manner, it's not easy for it to wear out. So before, like, we always do this. Never done that anymore. Yeah, even in a hurry. So we do this, right? At least like this, you know, push them all together. And so we learned a lot. So this gun, there's a lot of parts I haven't changed since I joined the industry, like in 2022, 2020, yeah, late 2020, 2023. Yeah, so some parts didn't change. And I believe this is a very good learning experience to me. So to know that some parts they can hold, some parts they will wear out. So you have to accept the fact that there are parts it will wear out, like the cylinder stuff. So it might go molded once I confirmed the style, and maybe if somebody interested in buying it to replace your original one. So I'm not sure how I will do it until I finish the whole gun. We'll see from that point, because we're still learning. We don't want to like get too proud that I can do a lot of things. Even I'm making this video is not to like showing off, it's like to self-motivated. Once you say you want to do something, you got to do it, you know, in public. So you say you have to do it. So it's like self-motivated. So we have a plastic gun 2026 and the gun case. And after I finish the plastic part of a revolver, I will have a USW project with the revolver. My boss already know I have a project with this, and I've been talking about that for like 2 years. Haven't done anything to it, you know, no progress on the paper, because originally I wanted done a USW project for stock revolver already in market, but then I think maybe I need to do something like my revolver with the USW, and that will be more motivated to me, and it will be much more fun. So it's like starting with my product, then I compensate my product to like compromise to other design revolver to make sure they fit in my product. And by then, you know, you will see me playing PCC with a revolver, right, using Archwick USW. So it's a very fun thing to being a designer, and also work in the factory, learning a lot of things during the process. So this is like the end. We show you our current learning curve, right? So for the 2026, there are also maybe something more like we'll want to like see more people, see how they do things, see more people doing 3D printed airsoft. Most of them I know are in Japan. Maybe we'll went there, see how they do things. I see a lot on the internet, so I feel very interested about it. And that will be all for the 2025 online exhibition. Thank you guys for watching. So also thank you for tolerating me like freestyling, and hope you guys have a good New Year, and Merry Christmas and a good New Year. And this year is also the 3rd anniversary of Revolver John Airsoft, even though we are not selling products now, because the main designer, me, are still learning, right? So anyway, thank you guys. See you next year.